Hey guys, welcome to Opposite Day, where today we're working on the opposite end of the car. Cheesy, eh? I couldn't help myself. Anyway, I'm Nick and welcome to iNVision Prototypes. So we've got things turned around for two reasons. First off, I think we can both agree that you've grown tired of kind of looking at the back. We've spent a lot of time, almost a month, working on the back panels, as well as the doors and all that back there. And turning around gives us more room to work, as well as gives us a bit of a better perspective of the front. Each front fender is going to consist of about 7 pieces that we need to shape, scribe to each other, and weld together. So that's going to be a ton of work. And before we get into that, I thought we'd start with something a little bit simpler up front here. Specifically this piece underneath the grille. The grille section is going to be one large section that gets installed afterwards on fasteners to the fenders. But this piece down here, we are going to create that separately, and it's going to basically join the area underneath the fenders together. So come on down here and I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing. What we have here is a paper template that represents a sheet metal piece that we're going to be creating. I didn't include the flanges on it because we can add that to the sheet metal later. And when we roll that up underneath like that, that's what it's going to essentially look like. And that's going to join the two fenders up underneath here. I probably wonder what this V is about. It looks like 2 buck teeth, eh? Well, on the blank here, I'll explain it. When we take this, create the peak for the grill, roll it up underneath, these two edges are going to come together and we can weld it. And that's going to save us an awful lot of work and an awful lot of time, because otherwise we'd have to take and shrink all this material into itself. And well, this is just another way of doing it. And it'll be just as good and just as strong. And once it's welded and metal finished, you'll never tell it's there. Let's get started. So I've given the panel some general shape, just giving it a loose bend by hand and giving it a peak so we know roughly where we need to stop our wheeling area. I'm going to straighten it back out and just start wheeling up these areas here, because these have to have a bit of a convex shape to conform to the curvature of the grill. Now, I can't go up too high because those are going to be flanges that get rolled over, so we have just about enough motion here to get done what we need to do. Flatten out that middle section because I want to take and actually stretch that in the wheel. Some really short passes with medium pressure, and the panel is already starting to come around. I don't want to use a high crown anvil and create ridges. Right now we have a very smooth crown happening here. If you take your time and work it out gently like this, it'll save you time in the end. Staying away from the top edge because that's going to be rolled over. Okay. See, almost shiny enough that I can shave in it. It's coming out quite nicely. So we have curvature happening for the grill, and I think we are really close to where we need to be. You don't want to overwheel it. Now this center section, I should take it and wheel it just a bit more, create a triangular wheeling pattern through here, just to bring that out a little bit more, but we are really close with this already. I did say it's a simpler piece than the other ones for wheeling, but then we have our flanges to work on. So. The flanges are going to be done later. Okay, I think you guys can see, just by me working the center section, look at that. It's pulled the panel down quite nicely. That's going to be it. Has a nice sound to it. Now we can adjust this V a little bit later on, once this panel fits a little bit better up underneath. I do have one little tracking mark, so I'll just take care of that. Smooth that out a little bit. So you have to maintain that curvature even when I'm wheeling down here. This is no longer a straight line. By wheeling this out here, we've curved the panel. This has to be rolled up underneath just to give us a nice finished edge. We don't want a raw edge underneath when we feel that. And this little peak here, that's going to be adjusted and basically hammered into itself to give us a nice finished edge. Like I said, we are really close. And it's getting nice and shiny. People like shiny things, eh? Just adjusting the curvature just a little bit. I'm using this radiused edge of the wheel to kind of move the metal around to where it needs to be. That's coming out quite nice. Okay, I think we're going to leave that for now. I may sharpen that peak up later depending on what we do with the center of the grille. And you see, that can always be installed afterwards. The main shape is what you're after when you're shaping up a panel. Flanges, all that comes afterwards. As soon as I roll a flange, first I can't get it in the wheel, and second, it locks the shape of this curvature into place. And you can't do much with it after. And if you go to flatten it out and wheel it out, you've already stretched the metal. So there's really no going back unless you shrink it and do a whole bunch of other stuff. Let's go fit this up on the car and see how it looks. And there we go. So we have enough material to roll into a flange for these side pieces here on both sides. And this is actually, there, that's how it's supposed to sit. It's sitting up too high because we have this point at which the grill front fascia kind of tucks in a bit sharper than the rest of the grill. And this center section, this little point here, we're going to have to take and hammer that into itself to shrink it in. Okay, well that clamp's sitting a lot better up there. We're lining up with our witness mark up here. We've gotten rid of that point by mashing the metal into itself there on the stump. I'm going to readjust this angle down here just a little bit more. It has to come down a bit. Then we'll take and scribe that, cut it, and tack it together, form all these flanges around the perimeter, but not before we start on the outside fenders. And the other thing I want to do is take the center grille section and make an independent piece so we can take and remove and insert anytime we want to. These will stay behind, create some flat bar pieces with little clips, and put some fasteners on that so we can take this whole center section out and work on it on the table, because we're going to be building an aluminum section that fits into this area. As for the fenders, we're going to do that next time. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this episode. Kind of a short one, but I just wanted to show you that a simple piece like this does take quite a bit of time to shape up, fabricate, and install on the buck so that it sits properly. And as you can see, we're sitting quite well on the car. So thanks very much for watching, and see you guys next Friday.